Hi everybody, my name is Simon. I'm also known as the App Man, and basically I help people create commercially successful iPhone and iPad applications. What I want to do right now, before I go any further, I just want to hit you with some real hard stats so you actually get a real indication of exactly what this market is, and then you can decide for yourself if this is something that entices you or something that you might want to explore further. So let's introduce the iPhone. There are currently, certainly at the time I produced this, 107 million app users in the world. And they, on average, spend $4.37 on apps every single month. On the 209,452 apps currently available. Made by over 28,000 developers who wait 4.78 days for Apple's approval. Which make, in total, 250 million in revenue every month. Now, sadly, Apple keeps 30% of that, but much more excitingly, 70% of that is yours to keep. And that gets deposited into your bank account on autopilot every single month. So let's have a look at iPhone sales. Now, as you can see, in 2008, there was 4.5 million iPhone sales, and that's not over the year, that's per quarter. Now, 1 year later, those sales had doubled. In 2009, almost exactly doubled, just approaching 9 million iPhone sales, again in just 1 quarter, in just a 3-month duration. So we can see that sales are just moving in one direction. And all the stats so far, again, 2010 set for a record year of iPhone sales. Perhaps more importantly, we need to take a look at iPhone app sales. After all, all this presentation is really regarding app sales. So the App Store was launched in July 2008. Seems like a long, long time ago now. Of course, just one day before that there was 0 sales. 9 months later, get this, not 1 million, 1 billion app sales. That is an absolutely staggering amount. 9 months later, 3 billion apps have been sold. That is just huge. Again, we can see that this is just moving in one direction. And again, the statistics are for the end of 2010, early 2011, that we are on track for an absolute record-breaking year. At the time I'm delivering this to you, speculation is we're around 6 billion applications sold. And that figure is only ever getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And of course, we have not even mentioned what I often call the new kid on the block. Not quite so new now. The iPad, of course. Now, you may remember at the time the iPad came out, there was a huge amount of speculation. Is this iPad really going to succeed? People were very unclear as to really what it was. In fact, a lot of journalists were speculating that actually maybe Apple's got it wrong this time. Well, they sold 300,000 in just the first day. 300,000 units sold in just one day. Now you have to remember that when this was launched, it was only available in America. It was only available in one country. So it's huge sales. And if you read in the news reports, there's soon to be an electronics show. I believe it's in Las Vegas, the biggest electronics show in the world. And I believe there's 60 new tablet-sized computers being created. So just gives you an indication how successful this format has been. And that's why so many other companies are struggling and desperately trying to catch up. On that first day that the iPad became available, over 1 million iPad apps were sold. That's not iPhone apps that also work on iPad, that's just iPad applications. Now, there's only about 100 applications available that day. So it just shows you the power, the commercial power an application can have. There's no two ways about it. These stats are pretty impressive. So let's have a look at distribution. Obviously, as I'm sure you know, if you produce an application, and unless you deliberately try to limit it to a particular country, it'll become available across all of the countries that Apple sell into. I wonder if you have any idea how many countries that is. So have a little guess. I'll give you a few seconds and then I'll reveal. So there's 97 countries in the world that now sell iPhones. Now that is a huge section of the planet. In fact, when I see this map, I do always feel a little bit sorry for poor little Bolivia down in South America, who's kind of left all on its own Todd there. But the reality is, and I've been to Bolivia, and Bolivia is an amazing country, and I would strongly recommend, if you get the chance, please do go. It really is one of the most spectacular countries I've ever been to, perhaps the most spectacular, in fact. But the truth is, I'm never really likely to do any commercial business in Bolivia. You know, sadly, it's a very, very poor country, and there just isn't the commercial opportunity there. So I would even go as far as to say that almost any country you have a realistic likelihood of doing commercial business in is already covered. And very few aren't already covered. So, you know, the power to distribute your own products, your own ideas, your own services, and introduce them into this worldwide audience across so much of the globe is really a very exciting and, well, certainly for me, a very exciting opportunity, and something I hope you will also find exciting and perhaps want to learn a little bit more about. So just to give you an idea already, you know, in terms of its reach, if you were to line up every app user in a dead straight line and you get them to stand shoulder to shoulder, how far around the equator do you think they would go? Do you think they'd get as much as a third across? Maybe a half? I wonder what you think. So it would go entirely around the globe, entirely around the equator. Not once, but twice. That is a staggering amount of people. And when we understand that's, you know, that quantity of potential customers, again, you know, that's something that certainly excites me and tends to excite the customers and people that we work with. Now, if you ever think about this in terms of app sales, and of course I'm averaging these stats out across the globe, but on average, the time I'm doing this presentation, on average, more than 2.2 people in the world, more than 2.2 people every 3 people, so more than 2 in every 3 people, already downloaded an Apple application. Think of all the people in the world that, you know, that aren't affluent, that don't have access to this. Even despite that, as an average, more than 2 out of every 3 people in the world have already downloaded a mobile application. And very soon, on average, everybody in the world will have downloaded a mobile application. That's absolutely incredible. And that stat that's popped up there, 4 billion plus apps sold. It's actually more like 5 or 6 now. And there's no skills required to produce an application. And, you know, there's no doubt that is a very important part of attracting new people to this. So I certainly don't recommend people go and learn how to produce software before they go and do an application. I just suggest that they look into the industry a little bit more and they learn and take some advice from someone that's working in the industry, that's been there for some time and has some good results, and you get their expert advice and expert direction. And then you find a developer that can actually produce an application for you. You certainly don't want to be spending your time learning the skills to actually produce the code yourself, unless of course you are a coder by nature. So that's this short clip wrapped up. There's lots more clips on this site I'm sure you'll enjoy, and I hope you enjoyed that. Just a few stats just to show you exactly what the market is doing today. Many thanks.